Uh, Alpha, so na Arab be this, and this is how to work pulley lighthouse.
Okay, so in this project, yeah, you are expected to identify the speaker and annotate a speaker number and gender to each of the speaker. Just as this one, this is speaker 2, and it's not much that you start from 1. You can open any one, you start from speaker 5, speaker 6. The only thing is that you just have to be consistent with any number you are using. So as you have speaker 1, speaker 2 that's starting this, will be consistent with this speaker 2. So the first thing is that you start from this end, you expand this, that you zoom in using letter S, you zoom out using letter D. Though I use my mouse, because if I scroll up, if I hold my mouse and scroll up, it will zoom out. If I scroll down, it will zoom in. So this is this cursor. If you move this cursor to this end and you click shift button, this red heart is a red line. Let me bring it here so you see it clearly. If I press shift, you see a red line. This red line is showing us where exactly we are listening at. And in this project, we are expected to listen and identify where a speaker started speaking and where it ends, and where another one started speaking. And if two, just like this one that we have, this is speaker 2, this is speaker 2, it is all right to have them in a separate box. But if the distance between the two of them is not up to 2 seconds, then they are meant to be one box. Just like when someone is talking and he holds a breath or he holds a break for a few minutes, it doesn't mean that the person has stopped talking. The person just needed some break to maybe to breathe or something. So to check the distance, you place your cursor here and press shift. When you press shift, this red button will come to this place. You check the time. If you check this time, we have 25 seconds here. We are not up to a minute to this video. It's just 25 seconds. So if it is 25 seconds, we'll now move it. This is the end of this first box. We'll now move it to the beginning of this second box and press shift. We have 25 seconds there, right? So press shift. Now what do you have? You have 27. So which means the distance between these two is 2 seconds. So if it is 2 seconds, then it is good for the two to be a separate box. But if you look at this one now, this is a speaker 2, this is another speaker 2 here. So these ones, even without measuring it, you should be able to tell this one that we measured is 2 seconds exactly. You should be able to say that this one is not up to 2 seconds. In that case, we will delete this.
Güzel geçti. Geliyor değil mi sesin şimdi?
We'll just note where it started and backspace or delete, and then click on this and cover for the 2. Then we are making them one box instead of making it to be 2.
Geliyor şimdi.
So to move it, you click on this box and select and click at the end and you move it like this. So first you move your cursor to this end and then you click shift. When you click shift, you start listening. So if it is music, you will not be annotating any number, any box today. And in some aspects, the system already generated some boxes which might be correct or wrong. So you are made to listen to the voice, know where it started and where it ended, whether it is correct or not. In some aspects, this system will annotate a timestamp when music is playing, so you have to delete it automatically. So when music is playing, you don't annotate a timestamp there. Okay, let's start listening and you see. Do you see? Just as if I knew that this is going to happen, this speaker 2 here is just music playing there. So there's no need having speaker 2 there. Let's continue to listen. And then even when you are listening to this, you always try to click or move your mouse so you will not be inactive. If you check this place here, it will turn to yellow if you are inactive, and you will not like that to happen, because when it happens, this number, this time we stop reading, and if it doesn't, it means that you have not done any work. We stop reading and nothing will be showed there. So let's continue to listen. If you notice that this first 2 here is not a timestamp, because the only music that is playing there, this is where we'll have our first timestamp, which is a speaker 4. And being speaker 4 doesn't mean that we'll have speaker 1, 2, 3 before having speaker 4. You can just name it anything, provided you are consistent with that. Consistent in the sense that whenever you recognize the same voice, you give the same voice the same speaker number. And having heard the voice, you should be able to judge whether this person is a woman, a man, or you don't know. If you don't know, there's option for unsure, because some voice might sound like a man, like a feminine or masculine voice. So if you are not sure which one is which, you just choose unsure. So like these ones that are auto-generated, there's no gender. So let's click again.
Podcast'in yeni bir bölümüne hoş geldiniz. Ben İlmi Çeltikçioğlu, karşıda her zaman olduğu gibi Kaan Özaydın, NFL.
So we have to go back to know whether it actually started where it's supposed to start, because this is what system auto-generated listening to this voice. So they need human effort to make sure that it is accurate, it is 100% perfect. Okay, let's click shift here now and listen again and click play. You can, I'm using a space bar for play, normal play. You can as well use this arrow here. They are the same thing. So let's play.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, NFL Terapi
So if you notice that this one actually started where the voice started. So let's go.
Podcast'in yeni bir bölümüne hoş geldiniz. Ben İlmi Çeltikçioğlu, karşıda her zaman olduğu gibi.
And from my own personal judgment, listening to this voice is a man, is a masculine voice, is a man. So what do? I click here,
Merhaba arkadaşlar,
I
NFL
highlight on it,
Podcast'in yeni bir bölümüne
and
hoş
come to
geldiniz. Ben
this
İlmi
side
Çeltikçioğlu,
and scroll
karşıda her
down.
zaman olduğu gibi.
But show that you
Kaan
have
Özaydın, NFL
male, female, and
2021 sezonu
unsure.
10. haftasının maçları
Click
oynandı.
male.
Hatta 11. haftadan da bir maç oynandı. Kaan nasıl geçti hafta?
So if you click male, you see that it has male under it. So continue to listen.
Güzel geçti, güzel geçti. Geliyor değil mi?
So if you notice that these two voices are not the same, if they are the same but this system gave them a different speaker number, then it is now your duty to say no, these people are the same. These two voices is the same voice. So and it's not supposed to have a different time. It's not have to have a different speaker number. You cancel this. You can now
Güzel geçti, güzel
press
geçti.
this
Geliyor değil mi
and
sesin
give
şimdi?
it the
Geliyor
correct
şimdi.
times speaker
Arkadaşlar,
number.
problem oluyor.
But in this
Sinirle-
case, they are right, because the person speaking here is not the person speaking here. And you also remember that I told you that this speaker 2 and speaker 2 here is not supposed to be here. Why? Because it's only music that is playing here. Let's take our red hat. That red line, you can call it a red hat or red line, anyhow. So let's take it back there and play again. So you see that it's only music. So it's only music playing there. What do? We click, we select this, we select it and delete. Just click delete button or backspace. Any one of them will get rid of it. Okay, this one is the same thing, but let's confirm. So we are supposed to delete it too, because it's just music playing there. Nobody's stopping it. Okay.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, NFL Terapi
So this is
Podcast'in yeni
our
bir bölümüne hoş
first
geldiniz.
This is our first speaker, speaker 4.
Ben Mücahit Dikçioğlu karşı.
So, as a first speaker, it's not must that it is speaker 1 that is the first speaker. Anybody can start speaking. So, provided we are consistent with this voice, anywhere we hear this voice, we know that it's a man and it's speaker 4. We gave the voice the same speaker number and the same gender name.
Şimdi her zaman olduğu gibi Kaan Özaydın NFL 2021 sezonu 10. haftasının maçları oynandı. Hatta 11. haftadan da bir maç oynandı.
And if in the course of this person speaking, we notice that someone laughed, we will suspect that it is speaker 2 because we only have speaker 2 above. So we will also annotate a timestamp showing that someone laughed and it's not the person speaking laughed. So it's another person. Okay, let's continue to listen to it because I think we will have an example in future.
Güzel geçti. Geliyor değil mi sesin şimdi?
Geliyor şimdi geliyor.
So you notice that someone talked in the middle of this person's own talk. While this person was talking, someone did something, maybe a sign in support of what he's saying. Okay, let's go back and pay close attention to this.
Oynandı. Hatta 11. haftadan da bir maç oynandı. Kaan nasıl geçti hafta?
Güzel geçti. Geliyor değil mi sesin şimdi?
Geliyor şimdi geliyor.
Arkadaşlar bir problem oldu. Hilmi ile podcast'la başlıyoruz.
So when a speaker 2 is talking and speaker 4 make any sound, we will annotate a timestamp. That is this timestamp. No matter how small the sound is, provided it's not the same person that make the same sound, we annotate a timestamp to it. And if the person that is speaking laughs, and from where he stopped speaking and started laughing, if it is up to 2 seconds, like he waited for 2 seconds before he started laughing, there is a different timestamp. This is a timestamp. This box here, you can call it a time box, speaker box, timestamp, anything, provided you understand it well. So now we are listening to this, and if you notice that the red heart is almost at the end of the screen. So what do? You come to this place and move it. So if you see this is my cursor below it. So for you to move this, you can just right click, that use your arrow, your left bar, and hold it, and then you drag it. That is one way. Another way, you can just use your mouse, press it 2 times and drag. That's first, second, and you drag it. So when this star show on top of it, you just long press and then you drag it like this. So let's continue to play. So this is where we'll have our timestamp. So we can also zoom if we are not seeing it clearly. Also zoom. If you notice, sometimes you zoom, you will not be able to move this. So if you want to move this, you might need to zoom out to be able to move this. So when you have moved it to a perfect location, then you can now zoom in to be able to see it more clearly. Okay, let's go back. If you notice that this speaker 2 is speaking, and below it we have speaker 4, let's know whether it is actually true that someone spoke during the course of the speaker speech. Okay, let's click shift and listen.
Ses gelmiyor. Tekrardan böyle.
Hep ikinci heyecanıma denk geliyorsunuz.
Uzun süre sonra bir cuma günü podcast çekiyoruz.
Okay, speaker 2 actually stopped speaking and speaker 3 started. Now, and speaker 4 just said something and we have a timestamp for it. Then speaker 2 later continued. Okay, when speaker 2 continued, we have to note that the distance between when the speaker 2 ended first speech and when he started another speech is not up to 2 seconds. If it is up to 2 seconds, if it is less than 2 seconds, we have to delete one and join the two together. But if it is up to 2 seconds, then they are okay to be a separate box. So let's listen to it again and note whether it is up to 2 seconds. In some case, you will just need to know by placing your cursor at the end of this and beginning of this to know the time frame. Noting the seconds here. This is 3 seconds. So if you take the cursor to this place and press shift, we have 5 seconds there. So it is up to 2 seconds and above. So what do? We leave it like that. It is okay to be a separate box. But if it is less than 2 seconds, we will delete one and use one to cover for the 2. So let's continue to play
Uzun
this.
süre sonra bir cuma günü podcast
So
çekiyoruz.
we are meant
Perşembe
to
başında
edit to make sure that when this voice started is actually when the box started. The two of them started at the same place and ended at the same place. So another important thing is that this is a save button here. This is save button. You always click save. And you click save, you see where you saved here. This is where last saved. You can see last saved May 27, 8. This is their time zone. So you actually make sure that you save maybe after 5 minutes. Why you need to save is because it will actually help you, because you will not lose your work. Maybe when there's where you're disconnected from your network or your laptop shut down, or you want to go to somewhere and continue later. Just imagine in this podcast, we have 86 minutes. Imagine you walk to 50 or 60 minutes and you need to ease yourself. You need to go to somewhere. What do? You just click save and close the tab. And when you come back and relog in, you see this thing will retrieve where you saved and show you that from so you have walked to this level. And you also note the time when you are saving, knowing fully well that you are continuing from the time, you are not starting afresh. The time you walked is saved, and the time you'll be walking again will also be saved. And when you submit, you see the summation of those time that you spent walking, both before you went for a break and when you continued. Okay, you always save so that you will not lose the work you have done. Just like we have started this one and we deleted those box that played during the music, and we already adjusted this and we adjusted this one too. So if you didn't save this and maybe we disconnected, when we refresh this page, it will bring those 2 boxes that we deleted. Everything will be as if we didn't do any work and we are made to start afresh. So to avoid such a scenario, you just have to always save. So that is the procedure. And if when you are done, this is done here, you click this done. So don't click this done until you are sure that everything is okay, because when you click done, you will not get to see this task again. You cannot make any correction again. Okay, let's continue.
kaçırdık arkadaşlar. Hilmi'nin benim.
And then in most cases, you notice that maybe this is a 86 minutes podcast. Before you listen to from 6 to 10 minutes of this podcast, everyone here must have spoken. And in that case, you should be able to know how many people are in this podcast. Is he a man, a woman, or you don't know? And in some case, their voices might be familiar. So in such scenario, just like as I have 2 people speaking now, and I notice a voice that I'm not sure which one of them it is, but but I know it is one of them actually, but I know it is not a separate person, but I don't know which one of them it is. You are advised to choose based on personal judgment from these 2, instead of creating a new timestamp to allocate it to a new person, because you are sure that it's not a new person. So, but you are not sure of these 2. You can just pick anyone. You can just pick speaker A, speaker 2, or speaker 4 instead of creating a new speaker. I don't know whether you get that. So you are not expected to create a new speaker if you are not 100% sure. But when I'm just listening to this, I have speaker 4 and speaker 2, and they are all male. If I hear a woman voice, I know that this is definitely a third speaker, someone that I have not heard his voice. Or when I hear a voice that is quite different from the one I have heard before, I will create a new timestamp. And to create a new timestamp, you click here and drag. You can drag front and back depending on where you want. Okay, let's assume someone else talk and I want to give the person a timestamp. You notice that this side of this place is not highlighted, but when you create this thing, you just click and drag. So if you notice that this is where you want it to be, you click again, it will stop. And you also notice that this, when you stop creating this, it will highlight this, showing you that what number do you want to give this. So, and if you didn't give this any number, you will not be able to do much. You will not be able to create another one. You will not be able to adjust the one that exists before. You're expected to give a number to this before you can continue. Okay, let's assume I want to give it a number 5. This it created this number 5 and give it a speaker number 5. And if the speaker name is the person I notice that is speaking is a female, I'll give a female. And if you notice there's a female written under it here, and it is on his own lane. So it shows that whenever this person speak again, I'll be able to give the person the same speaker number and gender name. Note, this is just an instance. There's no new speaker here. I will delete it. I'm just using it to show you how to create and how to delete a timestamp. I've also showed you how to delete because we just deleted some timestamp earlier. So to delete, you click and click backspace. So you have just deleted that.